Today we're going to look at James Madison, the fourth President of the United States, who served from 1809 until 1817. James Madison was elected the fourth President of the United States in 1808 and served 2 terms of office. The most notable event Madison had to deal with as President was the War of 1812. The War of 1812 is oftentimes referred to as the Second American Revolution. So you had the United States of America, again, fighting Great Britain. There are several causes of the War of 1812. The first one was the impressment of American sailors into the British Navy. Impressment means the capture of Americans and forcing them to work on British ships. By 1807, Britain had seized more than 1,000 American ships. This disrupted American trade. The second reason for the War of 1812 was the United States invasion of Canada. Americans wanted more land, and it was believed that people in Canada wanted to join the United States. The invasion was a failure. So the United States felt that they could get Canada and gain more territory for the United States. A third reason was the British armed the Indians to fight Americans on the frontier. They also trained them to fight, and this angered the United States. Another reason for the War of 1812 was a group of congressmen from the South called war hawks. They wanted more land and the removal of Indians. They saw this as an opportunity to do both. Not everyone wanted war. New England businessmen were worried that a war would hurt their business due to trade being interfered with because of the powerful British Navy. They had already suffered because of the Embargo Act of 1807. And if you remember the Embargo Act of 1807, Thomas Jefferson's embargo prevented American businessmen from trading with countries like France and England, almost devastating the United States economy. Britain eventually blockaded American ports, which made it difficult to import products. A blockade is preventing imports from coming in and exports from going out. And if you look at this map, you see all these British ships here lined along the American coastline, preventing products from coming in and products from going out. In 1814, the British invaded Washington, D.C., which is our nation's capital, and burned the White House and other public buildings. Before the White House was burned, Dolly Madison saved a famous painting of George Washington. Another significant event of the War of 1812 was the Battle of Fort McHenry. Francis Scott Key was a prisoner of the British and saw the American flag flying over Fort McHenry after the battle. The flag inspired Key to write the Star-Spangled Banner, which is our national anthem. The most famous battle of the War of 1812 was the Battle of New Orleans, which took place in 1815. This battle actually took place after the war had ended. Led by General Andrew Jackson, American forces stopped the British invasion of Louisiana. Jackson used his status as the hero of New Orleans to eventually launch a political career. In December of 1815, British and Americans met in Ghent, Belgium, to negotiate a peace treaty. The Treaty of Ghent ended the War of 1812. Even though the War of 1812 was basically a tie, it had a major impact on the United States. The successful naval war against the powerful British gave Americans a spirit of pride and nationalism. The United States also gained respect from other countries. It also began a period of expansion in the United States. Finally, the War of 1812 showed the United States it could no longer rely on imports. Because of this, the country turned its attention to building and improving American industries.